Updating the gradebook or grade table in Schoology is something that teachers need to do weekly. I'd like to take you through some of the options as you do this. Let's start with this final column called Quiz 1. This was a quiz that when a student takes it, the computer can score all the questions. When I look at this last row called Sample Student, I can see a little quiz icon, the puzzle piece, and I could even click that to see the student's quiz. An option you have, as indicated by the little pencil icon in the cells above, is I can actually, as a teacher, I could go put a score in. So for instance, maybe this student, there was some special circumstance or they turned it in on paper. I could put in a score and then click out of this box, and the little pencil icon indicates that this was an override by the teacher. Similarly, I could, for some reason, change this student's score, and I can see there's a quiz icon. This was scored by the computer, but because of the pencil icon, I can tell that I changed the score. And you can click this to clear the override, and it will default back. So quizzes are often filled in for you, but you can also do that as a teacher. Other assignments like this discussion, you can just click in a box, and you can go ahead and put in a score. One nice thing to note about something like that, if you needed to, is by clicking those three dots, you can track revisions for any assignment. So I could select that first student, and I could see, okay, just today I gave a grade of 5, but back a couple of years ago, in this case, this video is with a class that's pretty old, I gave a 4. And so you can revert back to any score at any point. It keeps a record. A couple other things. On any assignment, when I hover in the box, see a couple things pop up. I can click this little dialogue symbol, and I can add a comment. And I can choose whether or not that's just for me, which is the default, or if I want the student to see it. And then I can just click out of it. Now I can see that there's a comment there that's visible to students and parents. Another thing I can do is I can click, and when I hover and click on the left side and that little flag icon, and these are exception codes. Excused would mean that it's not going to count against the student in the gradebook. It's not going to count as missing. Incomplete is an indicator that this assignment is still in progress. Something to note about incomplete is if I mark this incomplete, it will not factor into the grade calculation. So it doesn't count as a 0. It's as if it didn't exist at all. So as far as the grade calculation, the first two, both excused and incomplete, do the same thing there. Missing is a little different. If I click missing, you can see there's a grayed out 0. This adversely affects a student's grade. And so when I mark something missing, you can see that it does that quickly. Now, one thing on an assignment to save you time, let's say that you have entered all the grades. If I click the three dots here, you can see that I can set all the grades to some score. I could mark any empty cells with some of these exception codes. So a lot of times a teacher will enter all the grades and then they will mark all the empty cells missing. There are a few other options such as deleting the assignment or viewing statistics. All right.